Hi friends, this is Bhuvnesh. Today we will discuss the Civil Procedure Code. Question number 1 is, under the provisions of Civil Procedure Code, plea of adverse possession is a defense available. Under the provisions of Civil Procedure Code, plea of adverse possession is a defense available. Plea of adverse possession का defense किसके पास available है? Only to defendant against plaintiff. The reappreciation of evidence in second appeal is not permissible. The reappreciation of evidence in second appeal, option C, not permissible. Reappreciation of evidence जो second appeal में permissible नहीं होता, तो इसमें option C is the correct answer. Next is sweeping change introduced by Civil Procedure Code Amendment Act 2002 is with the object to. जो sweeping change हुआ था, इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था, किस ऑब्जेक्ट के साथ किया गया था? कट शॉर्ट डिले इन डिस्पोजल ऑफ सूट. कट शॉर्ट डिले इन डिस्पोजल ऑफ सूट. सो ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. तो इसके ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए किया गया था. प्रीलिमिनरी डिक्री कैन बी पास्ड इन अ सूट. प्रीलिमिनरी डिक्री कैन बी पास्ड इन अ सूट. कौन से सूट में प्रीलिमिनरी डिक्री पास की जा सकती है? फॉर पार्टीशन ऑफ पार्टनरशिप, for possession and mesne profit, all of the above. For partition of partnership, for possession and mesne profit, all of the above. तो ये सभी में preliminary decree पास की जा सकती है, तो all of the above is the correct answer. Next is preliminary decree is one which determines the right of the parties with regard to some or one of the matters in controversy in the suit but does not finally dispose of the suit. तो प्रीलिमिनरी डिक्री जो है राइट ऑफ द पार्टीज को डिटरमाइन कर देती है इन सूट बट डज नॉट फाइनली डिस्पोज ऑफ सूट, पर फाइनली डिस्पोज ऑफ नहीं करती. तो ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रीलिमिनरी डिक्री. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, अ डिक्री बिकम्स फाइनल. ये डिक्री कब फाइनल होती है? व्हेन इट कंक्लूसिवली डिटरमाइंस द राइट ऑफ द पार्टीज, व्हेन नो अपील हैज बीन प्रेफर्ड अगेंस्ट द डिक्री, both A and B. So option C is the correct answer. When it conclusively determines the rights of the parties, when no appeal has been preferred against the decree. So option C is the correct answer. Next is, which of the following is not a decree? नीचे दिए गए में से डिक्री क्या नहीं है? Dismissal in default, rejection of complaint, both A and B, neither A nor B. Which of the following is not a decree? इनमें से डिक्री क्या नहीं है? DID, dismissal in default, is not a decree. So option A is the correct answer. Next is, order has been defined as a formal expression of any decision of a civil court which is not a decree under. Order की बात कर रहे हैं, ये कहाँ पे है? सेक्शन 2 सब क्लोज 14 ऑफ द CPC. तो ये आप देख सकते हैं बेयर एक्ट में ऑर्डर सेक्शन 2 सब क्लोज 14 ऑफ द CPC. सो ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट इज, a decree holder has been defined as a person in whose favor a decree has been passed or an order capable of execution has been made under. So ये बात कर रहे हैं डिक्री होल्डर की. तो ये डिक्री होल्डर जो है ऑप्शन ए सेक्शन 2 सब क्लोज 3 ऑफ CPC में ये डिफाइन है. आप CPC के बेयर एक्ट में ये चीज देख सकते हैं. A decree holder need not be a party to the suit. The term is not confined to plaintiff, both A and B. जो डिक्री होल्डर है जरूरत नहीं है इसको कि पार्टी हो सूट में, या फिर द टर्म इज नॉट कन्फाइंड टू प्लेंटिफ. सो बोथ ए एंड बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट इज, फॉरेन कोर्ट अंडर सेक्शन 2 सब क्लोज 5 ऑफ CPC मीन्स. फॉरेन कोर्ट जो है वो कौन सी होती है अकॉर्डिंग टू सेक्शन 2 सब क्लोज 5 ऑफ द CPC? अ कोर्ट सिचुएट आउटसाइड इंडिया एंड नॉट एस्टैब्लिश अंडर द अथॉरिटी ऑफ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. सो ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट answer. Judgment under section 2 sub clause 9 means statement of grounds of an order or decree. Statement of grounds of an order or decree. According to section 2 sub clause 9, judgment जो है statement of grounds of an order or decree. Option C is the correct answer. Next, legal representative under section 2 sub clause 11 of the CPC means a person. कौन होता है legal representative according to section 2 sub clause 11 of the 2 sub clause 11 of the CPC, who in law represent the estate of the deceased. So option C is the correct answer. A dies A dies leaving behind a son X and a married daughter Y, a suit filed by A after his death can be continued by X and Y both as LR। ठीक है, A मर गया, उसके बाद उसका बेटा X है और उसकी डॉटर Y है, सूट A ने डाला है, तो LR X and Y both are the legal representative of that estate. So option D is the correct answer. A judgment contains concise statement of the case, the points for determination, the decision on the points of determination and the reason thereof, all of the above. तो जजमेंट में सब कुछ होता है, so all of the above according to this section, according to this option D is the correct answer. Next is, who among us the following is not a legal representative? Who among us the following is not a legal representative? A trespasser, a creditor. A trespasser, a creditor. So option D, both A and C is the correct answer. Next, masonry profit as defined under section 2 subclause 12 means those profits which the person in wrongful possession of such property actually received or might have received together with interest. So ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. याद रखना, मैसने प्रॉफिट अंडर सबसेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 12 के अकॉर्डिंग आपको मिलेगी. सीधा पूछा भी जा सकता है कि मैसने प्रॉफिट क्या है, तो सेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 12 इज द करेक्ट आंसर. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस आंसर इज ए. नेक्स्ट इज फॉरेन जजमेंट एज डिफाइंड अंडर सेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 6 ऑफ द सीपीसी. फॉरेन जजमेंट जो सेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 6 सीपीसी में बताया गया है उसका क्या मतलब है, तो जजमेंट गिवन बाय अ फॉरेन कोर्ट. सीधा सीधा मतलब है, अगर फॉरेन जजमेंट है तो अकॉर्डिंग टू सेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 6 ऑफ द सीपीसी के अकॉर्डिंग जजमेंट गिवन बाय अ फॉरेन कोर्ट, मतलब फॉरेन कोर्ट के द्वारा दी गई जजमेंट. हु अमंग द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट अ पब्लिक ऑफिसर विद इन द मीनिंग ऑफ सेक्शन 2 सबक्लोज 17 ऑफ द सीपीसी. इन नीचे दिए गए में से कौन सा ऐसा बंदा है जो पब्लिक ऑफिसर नहीं है, तो सरपंच ऑफ अ ग्राम पंचायत जो बंदा होता है ये पब्लिक ऑफिसर नहीं होता. जज भी पब्लिक ऑफिसर होता है, पर्सन इन सर्विस अंडर द पे ऑफ गवर्नमेंट भी पब्लिक ऑफिसर होता है, लेकिन सरपंच ऑफ अ ग्राम पंचायत इज नॉट अ पब्लिक ऑफिसर. नेक्स्ट इज, सो अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट इज, basis of distribution of the jurisdiction of Indian courts is pecuniary jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, all of the above. Basis of distribution of the jurisdiction of Indian courts, pecuniary jurisdiction भी होती है, territorial jurisdiction भी होती है, subject matter jurisdiction भी होती है, सारे भी होते हैं, all of the above. So option D, all of the above is the correct answer. Court of small cases causes under section 3 of the CPC is subordinate to district court, high court, both A and B, neither A nor B. So option C, both A and B means district court or high court. Next is, so option C is the correct answer. Next is, pecuniary jurisdiction of the court has been dealt with. Pecuniary jurisdiction कोर्ट कहाँ डील करती है, सीपीसी में कहाँ मेंशन है, सेक्शन 6 ऑफ द सीपीसी. सो ऑप्शन डी is the correct answer. Court have jurisdiction to try all the suits of a civil nature excepting suits the cognizance of which is either expressly or impliedly barred by virtue of section 9 of the CPC, जिसे गेटवे ऑफ द सीपीसी भी बोला जाता है. सो ऑप्शन बी, दैट इज सेक्शन 9 ऑफ द सीपीसी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज अ राइट ऑफ सिविल नेचर? right to worship in a temple, right to share in offering in a temple, right to take out of possession, all of the above. तो सभी होंगे. ऑप्शन 4 that is all of the above is the correct answer. Next is, which of the following is not a right of civil nature? इनमें से कौन सा right of civil nature नहीं है? caste and religion, right to services which are honorary and gratuitous. तो ऑप्शन डी, both A and B is the correct answer. जो ब्रिज चिजमान राइट्स हैं ये राइट ऑफ सिविल नेचर में आते हैं, तो सी नहीं होगा, ए एंड बी होंगे, तो बोथ ए एंड बी इज द राइट आंसर. सो इट मीन्स आंसर इज डी. जुरिस्डिक्शन ऑफ सिविल कोर्ट कैन बी बार्ड either expressly or impliedly. Jurisdiction of civil court can be barred either expressly or impliedly. So option C is the correct answer. Next is, principle of res sub judice is contained in section 10 of the CPC. Option A is the correct answer. Next is, Dhulabai etc. versus State of Madhya Pradesh and another All India Report 1969 Supreme Court 78 lays down certain principle regarding the exclusion of jurisdiction of civil courts. Which of the following is not a principle laid down? हमने प्रिंसिपल बताना है कौन सा नहीं है, इसे डील नहीं करता. questions as to the correctness of the assessment apart from its constitutionality are the decisions of the authorities, and a civil suit lies even if the orders of the authorities are declared to be final. So option C is the correct answer. Under section 10 of the CPC, a suit is liable to be stayed. Under section 10 के according stay हो जाता है. So option A is the correct answer. For the application of the principle of res sub judice, which of the following is essential? Suits between the same parties or litigating under the same title. The two suits must be pending disposal in a court. The matters in issue in the two suits must be directly and substantially the same. All of the above. So option D, all of the above is the correct answer. Next is section 10 of the CPC does not apply when the previous suit is pending in a foreign court. अगर section 10 apply नहीं होता अगर previous suit pending हो foreign court में. Under the principle of res sub judice, the second suit has to be stayed. So option A is the correct answer. Provisions of section 10 of the CPC are mandatory. Provisions of section 10 of the CPC are mandatory. So option B is the correct answer. Section 10 can come into operation after settlement of issue in subsequent suit. So option C is the correct answer. Doctrine of res judicata as contained in section 11 of the CPC is based on the maxim nemo det vexari pro un idem causa interest republicae ut sit finis litium. both A and B, तो दोनों होंगे, मैक्सिम दोनों इससे रिलेटेड हैं. तो ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. बोथ ए एंड बी. आंसर इज बोथ ए एंड बी. नेक्स्ट इज प्रिंसिपल ऑफ रेस जुडिकाटा अप्लाइज बिटवीन को डिफेंडेंट बिटवीन को प्लेंटिफ बोथ ए एंड बी. तो दोनों में होता है, को डिफेंडेंट में भी को प्लेंटिफ में भी. तो बोथ ए एंड बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. मीन्स ऑप्शन सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज नॉट ट्रू ऑफ रेस जुडिकाटा? Which of the following is not true of res judicata? It cannot be invoked at a subsequent stage in the same proceeding but only in a separate subsequent proceeding. It cannot be invoked at a subsequent stage in the same proceeding but only in a separate subsequent proceeding. So option C is the correct answer. As regards res judicata, it has been stated that the right of an individual is to be protected from multiplication of suits and prosecution at the instance of an opponent whose superior resources and power, unless curbed, may render futile judicially declared right and innocence by Spence's Bauer. So option A is the correct answer. Next is res judicata applies when the matter in former suit is directly and subsequently in issue. Res judicata applies when the matter in former suit is directly and substantially in issue. So option A is the correct answer. Next is res judicata applies when the matter is directly and substantially in issue in two suits and should have been decided on merits. When the prior suit is between the same parties or person claiming under them and litigating under the same title. When the court which determined the earlier suit is competent to try the subsequent suit wherein the issue is subsequently raised. When all A, B and C combine. So option 4 is the correct answer. When A, B and C combine. Plea of res judicata has to be specifically raised. Plea of res judicata has to be specifically raised. So option A is the correct answer. Constructive res judicata is contained in explanation 4 to section 11. Explanation 4 to section 11. So option B is the correct answer. Principle of res judicata. Principle of res judicata. Option A has to be specifically raised. Next is constructive res judicata is contained in explanation 4 to section 11. So option B is the correct answer. Next is principle of res judicata applies to suits as well as execution proceedings. res judicata principle suits पे भी लगता है और execution proceedings पे भी लगता है. तो option D is the correct answer. Next is a decision on issue of law. A decision on issue of law may or may not operate as res judicata. So option C is the correct answer. A decision on an issue of law operates as res judicata if the cause of action in the subsequent suit is the same as in the former suit, even though the decision on the point of law is erroneous. So option B is the correct answer. Next is A decision in a suit may operate as res judicata against persons not expressly named as parties to the suit by virtue of explanation 6 to section 11 of the CPC. Next is res judicata does not operate against a per forma defendant. Res judicata does not operate against a per forma defendant. Option C is the correct answer. In which of the following cases res judicata is not applicable? Consent, compromise, decrees, dismissal in default, both A and B. So option C is the correct answer. Principle of res judicata is mandatory. Next is with respect to the principle of res judicata, which of the following is not correct? Which of the following is not correct? Writ petition dismissed in limine operates as res judicata. So option C is the correct answer. Next is in a suit where the doctrine of res judicata applies, the suit is liable to be dismissed. So option B is the correct answer. Next is a decision or finding given by a court or a tribunal without jurisdiction cannot operate as res judicata. Cannot operate as res judicata. On production of a certified copy of the foreign judgment, the presumption as to the competency of the court under section 14 of the CPC, rebuttable presumption of law. तो rebuttable presumption of law है. So option C is the correct answer. Next is validity of a foreign judgment can be challenged under section 13 of the CPC in a civil court only. So option A is the correct answer. Next is under section 13 of the CPC, a foreign judgment can be challenged on the grounds of competency of the court pronouncing the judgment, being obtained by fraud, sustaining a claim founded on a breach of law in force in India, all of the above. So option D, all of the above is the correct answer. How many grounds of attack the foreign judgment have been provided under section 13 of the CPC? Option B, that is 6. Next is on the ground of jurisdiction under section 13 of the CPC, both judgment in personam and judgment in rem can be challenged. So option C is the correct answer. Next is a person who institutes a suit in foreign court and claim a decree in personam after the judgment is pronounced against him can never challenge the judgment on ground of competency. Can never challenge the judgment on ground of competency. So option B is the answer. Under section 15 of the CPC, every suit shall be instituted in the court of lowest grade. The court of the lowest grade मतलब section 15 CPC के अकॉर्डिंग कोई भी सूट जब इंस्टीट्यूट होगा तो वो लोएस्ट ग्रेड में सबसे पहले जाएगा. तो ऑप्शन बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर. नेक्स्ट इज section 15 of CPC lays down a rule of procedure. Section 15 of the CPC lays down a rule of procedure. Next is under section 16 of the CPC, a suit relating to immovable property can be filed in a court within whose local jurisdiction the property is situate. According to 16, जहां पे property situate है वहां पे suit file होगा. Next is so option A is the correct answer. Next is suit in respect of immovable property where the entire relief sought can be obtained through the personal evidence of the defendant can be instituted in a court within whose local jurisdiction the property is situated. The defendant voluntarily resides or carries on a business. The defendant voluntarily resides or personally works for gain. All of the above. So all of the above is the correct answer. Option D is the answer. Place of institution of suit in respect of immovable property situated within the jurisdiction of different courts has been provided. Has been provided. So option A under section 17 of the CPC is the correct answer. Next, section 18 of the CPC provides for place of institution of suit in respect of immovable property where the local limits of the jurisdiction of the courts are uncertain. So option C, place of institution of a suit in respect of immovable property where the local limits of jurisdiction of the court are uncertain. So option C is the correct answer. Next, place of suing in respect of suit for compensation for wrongs to persons or movable property has been dealt with under section 19 of the CPC. Next is a suit for compensation for wrong done to the person or to movable property where the wrong was done within the local jurisdiction of one court and the defendant resides within the local limits of another courts can be instituted in a court within whose local jurisdiction the wrong has been committed, can be instituted in the court within whose local jurisdiction the defendant resides, either A or B at the option of the plaintiff. So option C, either A or B at the option of the plaintiff. So option C is the correct answer. Next, X residing in Delhi publishing statement defamatory to Y in Calcutta. Y can sue X कहां पे करेगा? आइदर इन दिल्ली और इन कैलकाटा, आइदर इन दिल्ली और इन कैलकाटा। Suits under section 20 of the CPC can be instituted where the cause of action arises either wholly or in part, चाहे पूरा हो चाहे कुछ पार्ट हो, कहीं पे भी according to section 20. So option C is the correct answer. In cases where there are more than one defendant, a suit can be instituted in a court within whose local jurisdiction each of the defendant at the time of commencement of the suit actually and voluntarily resides or carries on business or personally works for gain. Any of the defendant at the time of the commencement of the suit actually and voluntarily resides or carries on business or personally works for gain, and the defendant not so residing, etc. Since both A and B are correct, so option C is the correct answer. A suit for damages for breach of contract can be filed at a place where the contract was made, where the contract was to be performed, or breach occurred. So both A and B is the correct answer. So option D is the correct answer. A suit relating to partnership may be instituted at a place where the partnership was constituted, where the partnership business was carried on, where the partnership accounts are maintained. All of the above means D is the correct answer. Next. A suit relating to partnership dissolved in a foreign country can be filed at a place where the parties to the suit resides in India. So option D is the correct answer. Next is objection as to the place of suing can only be taken before the court of first instance at the earliest possible opportunity. So option A is the correct answer. Next, section 21 of the CPC queries. Section 21 of the CPC queries want of pecuniary jurisdiction, want of territorial jurisdiction, both B and C. So option 4, B and C, both B and C is the correct answer. A lack of a suit to set aside a decree on the ground of lack of territorial jurisdiction is barred under section 21A of the CPC. So option B is the correct answer. Next is parties by their consent agreement can oust the jurisdiction of one of the courts where there are two courts simultaneously have jurisdiction in law. तो वो parties agreement करके decide कर सकते हैं कि कौन सी कोर्ट में jurisdiction बनेगी. So option C is the correct answer. Section 20 of the CPC does not apply to arbitration proceeding. Section 20 of the CPC जो है arbitration proceeding पे नहीं लगता, तो option A is the correct answer. Next is agreement between the parties to institute the suit relating to disputes in a particular court does not oust the jurisdiction of the other court, may operate as estoppel between the parties, both A and B. So option C is the correct answer. Next is in cases of a commercial contract between parties of two different countries, the jurisdiction of the court shall be governed by rule of freedom of choice intention of the party. तो अगर ऐसा है commercial contract है between the party of two different countries में, तो यहाँ पे जो रूल लगता है वो freedom of choice का लगता है. मीन्स कि पार्टी की जैसे इंटेंशन होगी वैसे वो कर सकते हैं, इसमें कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. A corporation under section 20 of the CPC is deemed to carry on business at its principal office in India. Corporation अगर section 20 CPC अकॉर्डिंग ये माना जाता है कि जो बिजनेस है वो प्रिंसिपल ऑफिस में किया जा रहा है. So option A is the correct answer. In case of a cause of action arising at a place where a corporation has a subordinate office, the corporation is deemed to carry on business its principal office in India, its subordinate office where the cause of action did arise. So both A and B. In every plaint under section 26 of the CPC, fact should be proved by affidavit. Affidavit से according to section 26 of the CPC जो fact हैं वो prove किससे किए जाएंगे? By affidavit. So option B is the correct answer. According to section 27 of the CPC, summon to the defendant to be served on such date not beyond the 30 days from the date of the institution of the सूट्स. अकॉर्डिंग टू 27 ऑफ द सीपीसी सम्मन जो डिफेंडेंट को सर्व किए जाते हैं वो 30 दिन से ज्यादा नहीं होने चाहिए जिस दिन सूट फाइल हुआ है, मतलब इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ द सूट से 30 दिन तक. सो ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट आंसर. द कोर्ट में इम्पोज अ फाइन फॉर डिफॉल्ट अपॉन अ पर्सन रिक्वायर्ड टू गिव एविडेंस और टू produce document directed under section 30 subclause B of the CPC and such fine as per section 32 subclause C not to exceed 5,000 rupees. So option C is the correct answer. Under section 39 subclause 4 of the CPC, the court passing the decree is authorized to execute such decree against any person outside local limits of its jurisdiction, authorized to execute such decree against any property outside the local limits of its jurisdiction. So option 4th, neither A nor B. So D is the correct answer. A private transfer or delivery of the property attached under section 64 subclause 2 shall not be void if made in the pursuance of any contract for such transfer or delivery entered into and registered before the attachment. So option A is the correct answer. The court under section 89 subclause 1 of the CPC can refer the dispute for arbitration or conciliation or लोक अदालत or mediation. So कहीं पे भी option 4th is the correct answer भेजा जा सकता है. Next is the court can award compensation against plaintiff under section 95 of the CPC not exceeding 50,000 rupees 50,000 and this amount not to be exceed the limits of its pecuniary jurisdiction. 50,000 और साथ साथ ये भी ध्यान रखना होगा कि pecuniary jurisdiction से ज्यादा ना हो. So option C is the correct answer. Next is under section 100A of the CPC where any appeal from an original or appellate decree or order is heard and decided by a single judge of a high court, no further appeal shall lie from the judgment and decree of such single judge. So option A is the correct answer. Next is second appeal shall not lie from any decree as provided under section 102 of CPC when the subject matter of the original suit is for the recovery of money not exceeding 25,000. So option B is the correct answer. 25,000. The revision under section 115 shall not operate as a stay of suit or other proceeding before the court except where such suit or other proceeding is stayed by the High Court. So option A is the correct answer. The court can enlarge the time under section 148 of the CPC for doing any act prescribed or allowed under the Code of Civil Procedure not exceeding in total 30 days. So option D is the correct answer. Under order 4 rule 1 sub rule 1 of CPC a suit is instituted when a plaint in duplicate is presented to the court. तो plaint के साथ duplicate copy भी है साथ में लगती है. Order 4 rule 1 sub rule 1 of the CPC के according. So option B is the correct answer. Next is a defendant under order 5 rule 1 subclause 1 of the CPC is required to appear, answer the claim and to file the written statement within 30 days from the date of service of summon. So option C is the correct answer. Next is in case of failure of filing the written statement within 30 days the defendant can be allowed to file the same on such other days specified by the court for reasons recorded in writing within 90 days from the date of service of summon. In case of failure of filing the written statement within 30 days, the defendant can allow to file the same on such other days specified by the court for reasons recorded in writing within 90 days from the date of service of summon. In case of failure of filing the written statement within 30 days, the defendant can be allowed to file the same on such other days specified by the court for reasons recorded in writing within 90 days from the date of service of summons. Option A is the correct answer. Next is summons to the defendant under order 5 rule 9 subclause 1 of the CPC can be delivered for the purposes of serving the same on the defendant to a courier service as approved by the court. Approved by the court मतलब courier service approved court ने approve करी होनी जरूरी है. Under section 32 of the CPC to compel the attendance of a person to whom a summon has been issued under or section 30 of the CPC, the court is empowered to issue a warrant for his arrest, attach and sell his property, impose a fine not exceeding 5,000 either A or B or C. So option D is the correct answer. Next is under order 6 rule 17 at any stage of the proceeding the court can allow to alter or amend the pleading to either party. So option A is the correct answer. Next, the expenses for the services of someone to the defendant have to be borne under order 5 rule 9 subclause 3 of the CPC by the plaintiff. Option A is the correct answer. The court can reject the plaint under order 7 rule 11E of the CPC if it is not filed in duplicate. So option B, duplicate is the correct answer.